at this.
Alright, so today we are going to make savory pumpkin balls recipe. It's just like meatballs, but these are pumpkin balls. And actually I have been waiting all year for this moment because this is pumpkin season and I wanted to try this recipe that is in my mind, but I have never made it before, and as far as I know I couldn't find this recipe on YouTube either. So what we will do is we will grate the pumpkin, we will mix it with some mashed potatoes, and then we will make a separate tomato sauce, and then we will add the meatballs to the tomato sauce just like meatball recipe. So I have just some common ingredients for this, the things that you will need definitely for the meatball or the pumpkin, the mashed potatoes, and maybe some breadcrumbs. For the sauce, the main thing that you will need is garlic, tomatoes, onion. I have an extra green onion, optional. You will need salt, you will need oil for frying the pumpkin balls, you will need oil to make the sauce, and then optional red wine vinegar. You will need, of course, some kind of seasoning. I have paprika, I have sweet red chilies, and then I have these optional Indian spices, which is coriander powder, turmeric powder, mango powder. But you can exchange any of these ingredients, put whatever you like. The main thing is to make the meatball. That is the main thing, to see how that works out. And so this is an experimental recipe, and I might add some things or remove some things, change it a little bit. Alright, let's start. I need you to grate this pumpkin for me. You.
Why me?
Because you're
I
good
don't
at
want to
it.
ruin the pumpkin, It's pretty.
Oh, also I forgot to tell you, if you don't have a pumpkin like this, then all you need to do is take a knife, draw the lines and cut it like this, and that's it. It's that easy. It's not hard, people, okay? It needs to be like this
Before you make it.
before you make it.
Doesn't taste the same if you don't make it like this. What are you doing with my pet?
You have some scary pets. Alright, let's dive in. We will just use maybe half. Let's see how it goes. So we are grating this with the biggest holes, because otherwise it was just becoming like a paste. Okay, I'm just going to remove some of the water, see if I can remove any water to make it easier for it to bind with the remaining of the ingredients. But looks like there's not much water. I think somebody said you have to put salt, makes the water come out. Arlene is going to squeeze more water out of it. I'm not efficient. The more water you squeeze out, the less other ingredients you will have to put, like potato and flour, and more pumpkin flavor you will get. So if you have a muslin cloth, you can actually use that cloth to squeeze out the water. That will be even better. Chopping up some garlic and onion. I like to chop up the onion this size and thin like this, because then it cooks very nicely. Or you can use shallots, that's even better. Okay, so before you make the meatballs, you have to make the sauce, because the tomatoes will take about 20 minutes to cook, and you cannot leave the pumpkin balls out for too long, otherwise they will be soggy and they will not taste good. So all we are doing is garlic, onion, tomatoes, and then cook it for 20 to 30 minutes. this looks good. Onion.
I can smell it.
Cook for a couple of minutes.
And that is
1 teaspoon of salt for now. Some black pepper. Stir it some more. I'm gonna put some paprika powder for color. Deep color. Red wine vinegar.
wow, strong.
And then
That
I'm going to
is,
put
what is that?
tomato puree that we made earlier. And I made a puree because I want the sauce to be soft. I want the sauce to be smooth. So I'm gonna make the fire high. When it comes to a boil, then I'll reduce the fire and cover it and let it simmer for a while. Also, I'm going to put this turmeric powder. I think it's going to make it taste good. So about half teaspoon of turmeric powder, optional. I should have put it before, so it will not taste raw. Okay, so I had the fire high so that it will boil faster, but then you have to reduce the fire. You don't want to cook it on high fire. It will taste weird because it has to cook for a long time. So I've reduced the fire to something between simmer and medium, and we're gonna cover it and let it cook for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And we are going to wait for 15 minutes before we start making the pumpkin balls. Otherwise the pumpkin balls will be ready before the sauce and then they will be soggy. Alright, so I tasted the sauce. The sauce looks like it's getting ready since I blended it. It's cooking faster. Now we're going to make the meatballs. So we have about 1.5 cup of grated and strained pumpkin flesh that was grated. Yeah, so it is important to remove the water, and also it is important to measure so that you will know how much potato flakes to put. Also, if you don't have dried potato flakes, then you can just put fresh potatoes. You'll just have to adjust so that it's okay to fry. So this is our half cup measurement. I'm going to put half cup of potato flakes. I think that is enough. And then I'm going to put some of this Indian spice. You don't want to put too much. Just put the right amount, otherwise you will not taste the pumpkin. You will just taste the spices. And then I'm going to put a little bit of garlic powder. I'm going to put a little bit of onion powder, optional. And then I'm going to put a little bit of ginger powder, just a little. Then I'm going to put a little bit of nutmeg powder, optional, just a little bit, not too much. I'm going to put a little bit of red chilies. That should be good. And what else do I have? Some salt. Maybe 1 teaspoon of salt. Alright, and then we are going to mix it together. Also, I'm going to put a little bit of grated green onion just for flavor. It's optional, not needed. Maybe a little bit of black pepper, just a little, just for seasoning. Okay, I'm also going to put some of this mango powder, and what this will do, it will make it just a little bit sour and make it extra delicious. You can put some other citrus if you want, or you can skip it altogether. It's not needed. Alright, you know what? I didn't think about this before, but I think I'm gonna let it sit for a few minutes so that the mashed potato can absorb the water, and then we can try to make balls. I think we are able to make balls already, but we'll just let the mashed potato absorb some of the water so that it can cook easily. We did about 5 minutes, and now I am going to make 1 or 2 balls just to see how it is, and then Arlene will make the remaining balls. Alright, so we're going to use this spoon for measurement so that they're all the same size. I think this size is good because we have a very small pan for deep frying. Alright, so we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna roll it in this corn flour so that it will not absorb too much oil. Alright, can you do the remaining? I'll fry these. Okay, so Arlene is making the perfect round balls, and I'm going to fry the first one. Can you give me a small, very tiny small one so let me see if it can, if it's... Yep. It's not breaking. So far so good. I think I'm gonna put this one. So you want to be careful. You don't want to put too many because they might break. We don't use a lot of oil, that's why I'm using this small pan. If you have a big pan, then that would be great. You can cook them faster. And I tasted the sauce. The sauce is delicious. Mamma mia! I think we should cook it like at least 3 or 4 minutes so that the mashed potatoes and the pumpkin and the spices, they can all cook properly. In the meantime, we have this tiny baby. It's ready. So that's a trick of my mom. She always coats everything in cornstarch or corn flour, and then it will absorb less oil. You don't know, because if you put too many at once, then it will make the oil cold. We didn't use the breadcrumbs, not needed, because the only reason to use breadcrumbs is if the mixture is too wet and you want to make it dry, otherwise you cannot form a ball. We also cook the rice in advance. So I can see in the oil, the one that is cooked already, it's not making a lot of bubbles. So that's how I know it's cooked. Okay, so you see like this one is floating and it doesn't have much bubbles around it, so it's ready. And this is the sauce. This is how the sauce looks like. You can see the oil has started separating over here. That means the sauce is perfect. You can see the garlic. That's the way I like to see the garlic, so I can taste it. Let's add 2 more balls. You just have to ease it in the oil slowly. This one is about to get ready. Check it out. Beautiful pumpkin balls.
Rolling inside the pan.
So I think this one is ready. It's floating already. That's all of them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 2 small samplers from half pumpkin. It's a lesson learned. Don't get stingy with the cornstarch, otherwise you'll break it like this one.
And don't play with it too much.
And don't play with it too much. I do not have a clear picture, but it looks like some of them are broken. Alright, this is what happens when you are impatient. You have to leave it alone. Otherwise, this is what will happen. Alright, so now what we will do is we will serve the rice. And we have some healthy whole grain brown rice over here. Perfectly cooked brown rice. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the meatballs on the side. Hey, we're cooking at home, so we can eat as many as we want, and these we will just eat them as a snack. Then on top of this we will put the sauce. There you go. Vegetarian pumpkin meatballs.
Taste test. Does it look like pumpkin balls? Taste like pumpkin balls, and it will remind me of the pumpkin balls. I love it.
You didn't even taste it and you said as soon as it touched your tongue. Finally, after so many months
Of dreaming about pumpkin.
Love it.
What's the sour taste that I can taste?
Mango powder and red wine vinegar. Let's try one of these fritters.
Oh, soft. Soft and crunchy outside. Wow. I love it.
It's delicious.
Yeah, delicious.
Even better than the sauce.
Yeah. You can eat it without the sauce. Delicious.